Class is in session. MLB hitting the books Tuesday, July 29th. Ian Cameron and C-Mac. Connor Mack will be in the house momentarily as well. And we are ready to break down this Tuesday MLB card. It's been an amazing month in baseball, and you taste some humble pie every now and then. And last night was a horrific night. Brutal. Not much more you can add to it. It was the worst night I've had in MLB in well over a month. It was really that bad. We haven't had many of these, so let's see if we can turn the page and get back on track here on this Tuesday MLB slate. You couldn't have done worse with the best bet. That just showed you how bad the night went. Miami, and it was blowout. The bats didn't come to play. Palante struggling, and they couldn't hit a lick off him last night. So that's the kind of night it was. But we're looking to turn the page and have a big Tuesday night here in MLB action. So with that in mind, let's get into it, and we will begin with game 2 of a doubleheader, a day-night doubleheader. Blue Jays and Orioles. Got Eric Lauer and Brandon Young, the pitching matchup here. Toronto -120, road favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. Blue Jays might be cooling off a little bit. 3 losses in a row now for the Toronto Blue Jays. The final game of that Detroit series and the first 2 against Baltimore, including earlier this afternoon. They've given up 30 runs, 30 in the last 3 games. So the pitching's fallen off. They didn't get a good start from Bassett yesterday. They didn't get, obviously, a good start from Easton Lucas, but it felt like a game that they were just trying to cobble together some arms to get through it, and obviously it didn't work out. Before we get panicky about what's happening with the Blue Jays right now, this is the spot, I think, for them. If I'd be concerned if they don't win tonight, because you couldn't ask for a better spot for them here. They've got the guy that's been arguably pitching as well as anybody for them right now, and Eric Lauer, who has been a sensation. He's been a revelation for the Blue Jays since he arrived in the rotation. He's been excellent. He'll be on the mound, and Brandon Young has no business being in a major league rotation right now. He has been horrific for the Baltimore Orioles, terrible. He's been crushed repeatedly, 7.5 ERA entering this start. He has given up 10 runs in his last 8.2 innings alone. The Orioles are 0-5 in his last 5 starts, and his ERA is close to 8 during that time. So, I mean, it's a Blue Jays spot. I'm betting them. You know, even though they've looked like they might be about to go into a little bit of a slide, but there's no denying they're still better than Baltimore. This is a spot for them to stop the bleeding. They've got the right guy on the mound in Eric Lauer, who's pitched better for them than anybody of late. He's been their best pitcher. He's even been better, I think, than you could argue Gossman, Bassett, Barrios, any of the other guys in this rotation. That's how good the lefty Eric Lauer's been. So I am going to back Toronto in this spot, -125. It also makes sense with what I often say on this show, that the team that loses the first game of the doubleheader, I like to back them in the second game. So, yeah, Jays, I could only look over 9.5. I mean, it's now 9-1 to the over in the last 10 meetings between these division rivals. Something about Toronto versus Baltimore, and the game goes over the total. So I'm going to sprinkle on that over as well. A 9.5 -115. I mean, it's just been an over series history with these two teams, one game after another going over the total. So over, and the Blue Jays here for me to get the card going. All right, Colorado and Cleveland. We've got Gordon versus Allen on the pitching mound here. We've got Cleveland -180, home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. That's it for me with Cleveland. The parlay did not go well last night. They both lost. How about that? I put 2 big favorites in a parlay. They both ended up losing last night, the Guardians and the Astros. So that tells you how the night went. Cleveland laying it's more so Logan Allen laying this price. He's not a pitcher that's good enough to be laying -190, -180 in this kind of a price range right now. You know, Colorado beat them last night. Am I a big fan of their lefty pitcher here, righty pitcher, I should say, Tanner Gordon? Not really. But, you know, he's actually pitched okay when we saw him against St. Louis 6 days ago. Didn't allow a run in 6 innings versus the Cardinals. So he pitched pretty well. There's just absolutely no way I'm laying a price with Logan Allen in this price range with Cleveland. So by default, you have to look Colorado or nothing. Maybe sprinkle small bet potentially on them here in this game. But like I said, it's just not a situation I'm rushing to back either team. I'd lean Colorado, but, you know, I think there's better options on the board than this game. Let's move along to here's a good option: Arizona, Detroit. Brandon Pfaadt, Casey Mize, the pitching matchup. Detroit while they were minus 135, it's gone up to minus 155, minus 160, 8.5 the total. I agree with the Tiger move. I think Detroit, look, 2 wins in a row now for them. They went through the abyss. They went through their big slide. And I think now you're going to start to see Detroit string wins together. We know what's going on with Arizona. They're selling off pieces at the deadline. They know they're not making the playoffs. They're not playing good baseball. They lose last night decisively to Detroit in the series opener. Brandon Pfaadt's been atrocious this season, including on the road. Now Eugenio Suarez leaves the game due to injury last night. He might miss some time. So it's just everything's kind of snowballing against the Arizona Diamondbacks right now. And I think Detroit's about to go on a run. So I do agree with the move. Detroit, maybe Detroit team total, over 4.5. Anything Detroit here. Tigers money line, Tigers team total, whatever floats your boat. I think either one could be the good ways to consider here for this one. All right, we move to Tampa Bay, New York Yankees. We got Joe Boyle on the mound here for the Tampa Bay Rays, Max Fried for the Yankees. Yankees minus 190. Big home favorites here in this game, 8.5 the total here at Yankee Stadium. Very mild conditions, wind blowing out, hot and sticky tonight at Yankee Stadium. So I grabbed some over here, 8.5. I don't think Fried's unhittable. And in fact, we've seen Fried, a couple of his more recent starts, hasn't been lights out, not to the extent that he was maybe a little bit earlier in the season. We'll see what the Rays are able to get from Boyle. He's got good stuff, but he can run into some command and control problems. He has had some issues with that in the past. And of course, you walk guys at Yankee Stadium, often you're going to end up paying the price for that. So I ended up with the over a little bit here in this game, over 8.5. With the Rays and the Yankees. I like the price with the Yankees last night and Schlittler, and obviously they lost still. So there's absolutely zero chance I'm going to endorse the Yankees here at minus 190. I'm not on Tampa either, but like I said, if you forced me to play either money line here in this one, I could only look toward the Rays here. I think the over could be a little bit better. Like I said, Fried's been a little bit more susceptible lately, not lights out like he was maybe early. And I could see the Yankees maybe scoring a bit off of Boyle here as well. And the Boyle probably is not going to go deep into the game. And if you get into that Rays middle relief, it's not the greatest. So I think this game could, especially with the wind blowing out a little bit in that short porch, it becomes easier to hit the ball out. Maybe over 8.5 here in this one. All right, Dodgers and Reds. This is a good pitching matchup. Tyler Glasnow, who's looked pretty solid since coming back into the Dodger rotation, and Nick Lodolo, who's been tremendous, the lefty here for the Reds. We've got the Dodgers minus 150, road favorites, 9 the total here in this game. I thought the Reds were live last night, but let's give Yamamoto his credit. He had a good night, great pitching night for the Dodgers, shut down this Reds lineup. We'll see if Glasnow can follow suit. Like I said, Glasnow has been really good. I mean, you can't complain. He's given up just 2 earned runs in 18 innings pitched over 3 starts. And he's faced the Twins, the Brewers twice. I mean, he's faced some good teams as well. So there's no doubt Glasnow's come back into this rotation and pitched quite well for the Dodgers. But here's Nick Lodolo, been absolutely outstanding as well. 4-1, 1.62 ERA for Lodolo in his last 5 starts. The Reds are 4-1 in his last 5 starts. This is a very tough side because I don't really want to fade either of these pitchers. So I'm off the side. I could probably lean under here a little bit, especially first 5, maybe first 5, because you still may want to take the bullpens out of play here, especially with I'll say this about the Reds bullpen. It's been a lot better the last 10 games. The Dodger bullpen is still a little bit of a shaky, proposition. I lean under. The reason why I'm not stronger on this under is because it is a very warm night, and it could be one of these deals where, again, the ball's flying a little bit more. That does concern me, but both of these pitchers are very capable of putting zeros on the board. And the one thing I will say for both of them is, they've done a decent job at times keeping the ball in the ballpark. Glasnow's only given up 1 home run in his first 3 starts, and home runs at times in the past have been a problem. So, like I said, it feels like with the way these 2 pitchers are going, it could stay under, but the weather conditions point to maybe the other way, that it goes over. Hitters' conditions in a hitter's park. So I ended up not having as strong an opinion on the under as I initially looked when I saw these 2 pitchers. All right, let's continue. We've got Chicago Cubs, Milwaukee Brewers, Colin Ray and Quinn Priester, your pitching matchup here. Brewers minus 125, home favorites, 8 the total. Brewers come back after an early deficit. They fell behind early as Mizorowski was a little bit shaky, but Matthew Boyd suddenly shows he's human after all. You couldn't hit the guy. 2 runs in 33 innings, but did not have one of his better starts last night against the Brewers, and the Brewers able to come back and win that game. We'll see how they fare here in the bounce-back spot, the Chicago Cubs. Again, I like the price on the Cubs and Ray. Ray's capable, but Priester's been very good as well. So it's a tricky side. Total, I think it could go either way. Don't really have a strong feel for this game one way or another. This games I like on the board a little bit more than this one. But I would say right now that I would lean a little bit to the Cubs. Don't love it, but I would lean in that direction here when it comes to the Cubs and the Brewers. But like I said, am I really running the step in front of the Milwaukee Brewers right now at home, who have been obviously for the last few weeks outside of the run the Jays put together, one of the best teams going lately? Probably not. So like I said, it's tough game. I'm probably going to end up laying off it. All right. Red Sox Twins, we've got Lucas Giolito. We didn't have a pitcher initially for the Minnesota Twins here in this spot. But how bad is that for Boston? The game gets delayed due to rain in the 9th inning. You're up, and you just want to get that game over with. They have this long delay that and then they come back an hour or two later, and they blow it in the bottom of the 9th. Terrible loss for Boston. Brutal. It's as bad as it gets. It looks like Pearson Ole is going to be the primary pitcher here for the Minnesota Twins tonight. Meanwhile, it's Lucas Giolito here for the Boston Red Sox in this game. We'll see how this one plays out. I still think Minnesota's not a team I'm running a bet. Let's be honest. They were going to lose that game before the rain delay interrupted proceedings. And then, of course, the Boston bullpen gave it up. Giolito, the concern I have for him is the last 2 starts have gone the other way for him, but he did face the Cubs and the Phillies, 2 of the better teams in baseball. 9 runs in 9.1 innings, not good. But what are we going to get from Pearson Ole? We're going to see, obviously, a bullpen game primarily tonight for the Minnesota Twins, and a bullpen that's 5.82 ERA, and a bullpen that's probably going to be trading some of their better relievers here moving forward. So this is probably one where I'm considering moving on Boston again. Giolito, I think it's a good spot for Giolito to bounce back. He was pitching well before the last 2 games, but he faced the Cubs and the Phillies. Those are 2 better hitting teams and better teams, period, than Minnesota. So Red Sox are past for me at this current price. Is what I'd be looking at. All right, we continue along as the card rolls along. CMAC will be here in a moment. We've got the Phillies and the White Sox next up. Jesus Luzardo and Jonathan Cannon, the pitching matchup. Phillies minus 180, road favorites, and the total here in the 9 range across the board. Again, this is another night at Rate Field here in Chicago where hitting conditions are friendly, winds blowing out a little bit. It's a very warm night. I could make the case there for being some runs. White Sox are hitting lefties. We've talked about this now for weeks. They have just done one hell of a number on left-handed pitching in recent games. And just look at last night. They end up getting the 6-2 win. Even the mighty Christopher Sanchez, who was dominant for several starts in a row, ended up, giving up some runs to the White Sox last night. So now you face Jesus Luzardo, who has clearly gone downhill here the last, I would say, month. Since the beginning of July, you throw out the shutout he had against San Francisco, and other than that, he's given up 16 runs in his last 11 innings if you take out that San Francisco performance. So he really has gone downhill here in the last few starts, Jesus Luzardo. And as I've talked about, White Sox are just killing lefties right now, just crushing them at the moment. The problem is Jonathan Cannon. What are you going to get from him? He had a few good starts going, but last start against Tampa Bay was not kind. 6 runs, 7 hits, 4.1 innings. 4 straight starts with Cannon have gone over the total for the White Sox. So I ended up going toward over 8.5. There are some 8.5s out there. It's 9 at some books, so make sure you shop around. But I went with the over here in this one. I could only look White Sox here in this game too. I'm not ready to lay minus 180 with the Phillies and Luzardo, a team that's hitting lefties well. Bit dicey though what we're going to get here from Cannon, but I would only consider backing the White Sox here at this price, plus 150. And it's absolutely true by Joey. It's not just Lenin Sosa and Aguero and Colson Montgomery. These are the guys, these young kids. They finally have got some young, up-and-coming, blue-chip talent in the pipeline coming up to this big league team and starting to make an impact for the White Sox in that lineup, which is good news for them, for a team that's obviously in a long rebuild, but starting to show a little signs of what the future has to offer. All right, Atlanta and Kansas City. We've got the Royals and Braves. Eric Fetty and Seth Lugo is the pitching matchup here. Kansas City minus 130. Home favorites total here at 9.5 across the board. I like the Royals here. Royals money line, Royals team, even a Royals team total. And, I don't love trusting this team to hit half the time. They're not a great offensive team, and we've seen that throughout the course of the season. But I continue to like Seth Lugo and the way he's pitched. 3 ERA, 4.1 or 4-1 are the Royals in his last 5 starts. He's got good numbers at Kauffman Stadium. Meanwhile, Atlanta picking up Eric Fetty off the scrap heap, and now he's starting tonight. Eric Fetty's been an abomination here for the last few weeks. Absolutely brutal. So I think Atlanta just needs someone to eat up some innings, but Eric Fetty has not been in good form. This guy, going back to June 25th, in his last 5 starts, has given up 26 runs. You heard me. 26 runs. 26 runs allowed by Eric Fetty. And that's in a span of 17 innings. You can't get much worse than that. So I'm going to go a split here. Royals money line minus 130 and Royals team total, which you can get at 4.5 minus 120 or so. I think they can get 5 runs here. Again, Fetty's been just horrific. Hard to pitch worse than him. He's given up, by the way, 8 home runs in those 5 starts as well. 8 home runs in his last 26 innings. For Eric Fetty. So this feels like a desperation move for the Braves picking him up. Kansas City, I think, can capitalize on that. I know Atlanta got to them last night, but I think Kansas City returns the favor here tonight. And minus 130 split with the team total, over 4.5 on the Royals for me in this one. All right, let's continue along here. We've got, as we continue on the card here, Miami and St. Louis. Sandy Alcantara, sunny. Yesterday, my life. Sonny Gray for St. Louis. We've got St. Louis minus 145, home favorites. The total here sitting at, looks like 7.5 across the board, shaded to the under in this game. I'm tempted again by Miami. I know they totally let me down last night. They were blown out, non-competitive. And Sandy Alcantara's been not very good. I understand that. But think about this spot. Sandy Alcantara's in a ton of trade rumors. He wants to step up and show that, hey, I want to get dealt. I want to show I can make a team better and help a team that's contending for the playoffs and contending for a World Series. How do you do that? This is going to be his last start before the trade deadline. You go out there and you pitch well. That's exactly what you do. And for as bad a year as it's been for Alcantara, last start against San Diego, I think it was one of his best starts. 1 run, 4 hits, 7 innings. He pitched great against the Padres. We'll see if he can carry that over. Again, for the overall season, he has not been good. But we are talking about a guy that does have some ability. At least early in his career he did. And he is coming off his best start in ages. So maybe it's something he can build on here tonight against St. Louis. Meanwhile, Sonny Gray's collapsed. He's given up 16 runs, 20. I'm convinced he's hurt and injured. I think he's going on the IL. I don't think he's right. To be that bad, to give up 22 hits in your last 8 innings, 8.1 innings, you've given up 22 hits, you've given up 16 runs, you've given up 4 home runs if you're Sonny Gray in his last 2 starts. That ain't good at all. Yeah, I'm talking myself into Miami. I know they screwed me over, let me down last night. But I'm going to, don't love it, but at plus 140, I'm going to dabble here in the Marlins. And Alcantara after coming off a really good start. It's actually moved a little bit. I got plus 140. It's down to plus 130, plus 125 now on the Marlins. So there's been some movement toward Miami. I don't know. Sonny Gray doesn't look right to me. He looks like he might be going on the IL sooner rather than later, quite honestly. When it's that bad in your last 2 starts, makes me think there's an injury. So Miami for me. Again, I'm not best betting them like I did last night, but I'm going to end up here on Miami for something as a dog in this game in that plus 125 to plus 130 range. All right, we've got Washington and Houston. Michael Soroka and Jason Alexander, Mr. Costanza. I'll see you in hell, Costanza. Remember that play now? That great episode of Seinfeld. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
Jason Alexander on the bump.
Yep. Jason Alexander. I'm done with Houston. I'm out. They stink right now. They got swept by the A's at home. They lose 2-1. They can't hit all of a sudden. Believe it or not, I'm on the Nats, or I'm close to take. I probably will take the Nats here. Soroka's been
first five.
Soroka's been a little bit better here the last few starts for them, and Jason Alexander's no good. Okay, this guy's not been very good at all for the Houston Astros. The problem is, look, the markets have adjusted. I mean, Houston's only minus 130 at home against Washington. It feels like the value is terrible if you like Washington, and I still think I have to back them because the Astros are a mess. You got Framber Valdez getting into it with his teammates for bad defense behind him last night. So the clubhouse camaraderie looks like it's unraveling a little bit right now for Houston as well, along with the bad baseball they're playing. So, it's Washington or nothing for me, and it sounds like C-Mac's in agreement.
Yeah, I think the Astros team totals a good bit too, Daniel. Soroka's looked a lot better too. And I've seen some of these starts from. I still don't love him as a pitcher, but if he could just go out and get things done, because I think the Nats are going to get Alexander and get some runs. At least 2 or 3, so I had to take them first 5. I know a little bit of the value is gone by now, this number, but I just think they're the team. We're going to see a bunch of it. Saw a bunch of it yesterday. These teams so bad. We talk about it all the time, and you know what? They play loose because they suck. They have nothing to play for. So they're just like, we want to go out and play for a job, blah blah blah. So look out for more of that. I think the next couple of weeks.
All right, next up, we've got the Texas Rangers, LA Angels. C-Mac, before you got here, I vented some frustration that last night, when you're going red hot for about almost a solid month like I am, and then you have that one just shit night, horrendous night like I had last night, it hurts even more when you've been going well. And that was last night. It was just a horrendous night, awful night. And to put the night in context, we talked about how Miami was a terrible call. Yankees get bombed. So many other ones that fell apart for us. Texas, I had the team total over 4.5 against a horrible Kahanovic, who they've crushed before, and he's got a no-hitter against them going into the 5th inning. They still get the 4 runs, but then that's it. They only get 4
late.
They lose. Yeah. So that's the night. That's the way the night went last night. But nevertheless, Rangers and Angels here. Angels minus 130, home favorites, 9 the total. I'm back on Texas here. I like the way Corbin's throwing. They just win with Corbin on the mound, believe it or not. I just think this price, the values with Texas here. I know they lost last night. And the Angels are a feisty little bunch. They're not a pushover, but Corbin's been really good. I mean, you can't argue with it. 2 runs or less, 4 straight starts, 4-1 Texas in his last 5 starts. And Kikuchi's kind of going the other way a little bit. I don't love what I'm seeing out of Kikuchi. That last start against Seattle was not great. 2 home runs allowed, 2 walks, 3 runs, 7 hits. He only lasted 4.2 innings. So I'm going to take Texas here, plus 110 with Corbin. Corbin's been good. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, this one's tough for me. Corbin has been. I've tried to fade him a couple times. Not a lot, but I thought in certain spots. And he just keeps going out there and pitching well. So I just don't want to do it. I guess, look to back him. But I think the Angels are playing well. As good as some of these numbers off Kikuchi the Rangers have, there's a few for the Angels. I'm going to be on Taylor Ward. He's been a little bit better of late. He's got some good numbers. But I think Adele, Trout, since he's been back a little bit, has been swinging a better bat. So I think this game's more of a coin flip. I see how you could think a little bit of this price is with the Rangers, but I can't take it. I think both pitchers get hit a little bit. Whether we get over the 9, I don't know. I think we get some runs early.
Yeah, I was thinking about, do I split it with the team total for Texas again? But I ended up just doing the money line here in this with Texas at plus.
He's been so good at home,
Yeah,
Kikuchi. I know he hasn't looked as great lately. He gave a couple homers
I could see
that
this
last
being like
start.
4-3 Texas. That's why I say that. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, Kikuchi still has a 2.26 ERA at home. Tough to go against.
All right, Mets and Padres. We've got Sean Manaea for the Mets, and we've got Bergert here for the Padres. Mets minus 130, road favorites, 8 the total in this game. Again, you want to know how bad the night went? Look at last night. Mets, good start, blow the lead, come back, and then tie it, and then lose in extra innings. I mean, that's or the ninth inning walk-off fashion. So that's the kind of night it was. I would lean Mets again here. Manaea's been pretty solid. I'm not a Bergert fan. I'm not. So I think this is a spot where the Mets could probably have the pitching advantage. Maybe you want to split it up first 5. The Mets bullpen can be a little dicey. So maybe if you want, like the Mets, split it first 5 full game money line. But Mets for me are nothing. C-Mac, Mets, Padres.
That's how I feel. Bergert, he's just, at least in his starts in the bigs, has gotten by. I'm waiting for him to get hit, because I've seen it enough with him in the minors. But he's been able to get it done. I mean, under here, too. You got to trust these two pitchers. And we were just talking about yesterday where they scored some runs. And the Padres have some unbelievable numbers against Manaea in the past. I mean, what do you take from that? The Manaea then, who couldn't throw strikes and used to get hit around by these guys, or the guy in 3 starts that's giving up 1 run in all of them, and he looks pretty good. And if he walks 2 guys or less, he is normally pretty good, because he can walk 4 or 5 easily, and an inning just gets away from him, and then he gives up, the big home run, or there's 4 or 5 runs in an inning. But yeah, I haven't got there. I don't love the Mets now at this price, even though I think they can win this game, and I lean under.
All right, I'll pass this one right to you. I have no opinion, no bet. Pirates and Giants, no bet at all. Giants minus 170, 8 the total. Falter versus Verlander. That tells you the night, too, for both of us. I mean, we thought that would be an under last night, Pirates and Giants. It's 4-4 in the fucking 5th inning or whatever it was. Just crazy shit last night. Unbelievable. If you honestly, up and down the card last night, you'd go opposite of everything we said, and probably did very well last night. It was one of those nights. But nevertheless, what do you think here, C-Mac, Pirates, Giants?
I didn't have that bad of a night, but
it was bad.
I've had worse ones.
The only thing I won was Tigers. Oh, and the Jays over. That's it. Yeah.
That's just how it goes. This is baseball. I mean, when you do it every single day,
you gotta laugh at
have those days.
You're pissed, and it hurts when you see money gone from your accounts on a bad night. But then the next day you laugh about it and you move on. That's what you do.
Well, like me, where I didn't have any of those, then I finally had one. It was nothing, and one of those bad days. But then when I hit the shits is when you hit 4 or 5 days. Where just nothing really can go your way.
That's true.
And maybe not. You're not getting killed, but you're losing consistently. Day in and day out.
That was just one really, really, really bad night. I've had a couple losing nights. I've had losing nights.
Well, that's good.
Bad night, but that was just like you got crushed all over the place kind of night. And we've avoided those pretty much all season until last night. That's why you feel it more.
Hey, I don't shit. You don't need the sympathy from me, brother. I know. Yeah. Dude, we do the same shit. So it's like I'm sure everyone in the chat, most people.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword when you're a high volume player too, like me. So I eat it, I own it. I'm like the Mike Tomlin press conference today. I eat it, I own it, I accept it, and
yeah, for sure. No way I could bet the Giants here. Verlander finally got a win. By the way, he kind of cruised. He's lucky to get out of that first inning in that last game against the Braves. He had 45 pitches, bases loaded. He walked 3 or 4. I mean, it was. And then after that, the next 4 or 5, he was pretty good. This price is crazy. Giants fucking suck. I know they still have a better record here at home. The bats, even though they scored some runs yesterday, still are cool. I mean, if I'd look here today, I'd look at Adames or Chapman or Flores, all good guys against lefties. Falter, though, been a little bit better in road starts this year, whereas I consistently want to fade him. Pirates, though, scoring the run, win yesterday. I mean, it's them or nothing. Yeah, it's just Giants hitting the tank.
Yeah. Yeah, this is clear nothing for me. So C-Mac gave you more on that game than I did. All right, next up, Mariners and Athletics. Final game on the board. We've got Logan Evans for the Mariners and Severino back where he's like one of the worst pitchers in baseball. He's pitched like in this ballpark all year. We've got Seattle minus 120 road favorites, 10.5 the total. By the way, thank you to Ballpark Pal, my trusty little wind and weather resource for baseball handicapping. A great stat that every game, I believe, at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento this season, when the wind's been double-digit miles per hour blowing out, as it is tonight here in Sacramento, it's been double-digit runs every time in the game when it's been double-digit mile per hour winds blowing out. And that's what we've got tonight here in this game. Double-digit mile per hour winds blowing out. So I'm on the over, and I don't even love either pitcher. I mean, Logan Evans, hit or miss. One day he can be good, one day he struggles. And I think based on the wind conditions, favorable for hitting, and this little bandbox here in Sacramento, he's probably going to struggle a bit more here, Logan Evans, tonight. And a lot of his bad starts have been on the road. We remember he got crushed at Yankee Stadium in early July, 6 runs he gave up in that game. Meanwhile, with Luis Severino, this guy's been pitching amazing on the road, and he can't. It's crazy to see the splits with Severino. Like, it's mind-boggling how bad he is at home in Sacramento and how totally different he's been on the road this season. Like, his road ERA is 3.08. Very solid, very respectable. His home ERA here in Sacramento is almost 7. He's got a 6.9 ERA, Severino, here in Sacramento this year. So, yeah, over for me in this nightcap. C-Mac, what do you think here? Mariners, A's.
All over money here too. I'm surprised this hasn't gone to 11 at all. It's just stuck at 10.5. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit. People are just because they under yesterday. I mean, I guess you could look at it. The pitchers were pitching all right. It was kind of travel day coming in for days. I don't know. They just did the best. Just weren't good after that 4-game sweep against the Astros. I think they're going to get runs. I just don't have nothing in this game. Seattle finally wins. I kind of want to fade Evans on the road. But Severino's been so bad. I mean, he's got to pitch a little bit better here. Can he? A little bit? Well,
this part just has
he's
been
had
a
one, I
nightmare
think.
for him. Just, it's crazy.
He's had a couple, but
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the A's are more live here tonight.
Yeah.
Against Evans. But maybe that just leads to runs, and maybe you just take their team total here. It's 4.5 minus 135. So I'd look that way.
All right, there you go. Any games, C-Mac, before you jumped in? Is there any games you wanted to mention that you have a strong opinion?
By the way, I wanted to hit on the Giants too. Don't hit lefties. I want to hit on Falter, even though he's been this team's been basically dog shit all year long. So that's even more. I think the Padres are live. We hit on the Nats. I'm on the under first 5 in Rays Yankees. Bullpens have been pretty bad, but I think both these pitchers can pitch well. I know Fried's had a little bit of issues. Really, his problem's been on the road, more at home. But I think that under in that game. Where's our guy Billy Bridge just put in the chat? I like the Tigers. I just think he's been a little bit better. Just his hard contact, everything about him, I think, and at least we've seen the Tigers score some runs lately. The bats come alive. Their team total, over 2.5, it's even money. First 5, I think they can get to him today. So that was about it. And we hit on the Nats. That was it.
All right, I'm with you on the Tigers. I mentioned that earlier. I was on them. It was one of my few wins yesterday was the Detroit Tigers. So, and I like, they're starting to come out of their funk. They got the pitching. Well, Mize kind of he did get roughed up by Toronto in his last start, but I think he bounces back. He had been pitching okay before that start, Casey Mize. And Brandon Pfaadt just hasn't been very good. And now they're selling pieces left and right. They're trading guys away. They're selling. They're not going to be a playoff contender. And now Eugenio Suarez, who's carried them at times, is now injured. Probably not going to be in the lineup tonight either. So that's a situation that's worrisome here if you're Arizona for sure moving forward. So like I said, I do like the Detroit Tigers as well. All right, anything for home run props, C-Mac?
I touched on Ward earlier. In the late games, I think you look at the A's, Rooker, Adames. At least he hits lefties well. I talked about those 3 Giants, if they're going to score anything. He's been a guy that didn't even touch it all. A little bit the last 3 weeks we've seen come out a little bit. I mean, he had a bad start. Paid him all that money, and he looked awful. But the homers have come. The RBIs have come in that one. That was about it there for Jax. I mean, there was like Ronald Acuna. Some of these are just too low for me. He had a homer yesterday. He's plus 350. He has pretty good numbers, but yeah, you can rip that if you have any.
Yeah, I mean, Kurtz, Raleigh, Soderstrom, Rooker, anybody like that could be a home run derby of sorts, potentially that Mariner Days game. So there's definitely a bunch that I like there. How about this Colson Montgomery? I think he's worth a look for home run prop tonight for the White Sox. This guy is really starting to hit for them. He's been really good. So Colson Montgomery, Chicago White Sox, they've been mashing lefties. Luzardo's not been in good form lately for the Phillies. So that's definitely, like I said, Montgomery, I think, could be a good home run prop look for the White Sox.
White Sox, red hot.
Yep. Royce Lewis has a homer against Lucas Giolito. Stowers, I think, could be worth a look again for Miami. Seager has a homer against Kikuchi. That's definitely something worth noting. And Adolis Garcia has 2 homers against Kikuchi in the past, no doubt. Yeah, Torkelson, it's not bad. Yes, the Tigers are a good target. Torkelson, Green, they could be good targets as well. No, Kerry Carpenter's back now.
Dingler,
the catcher. Yeah, Dylan Dingler. Yeah,
Dylan Dingler.
Yeah. I think the Tigers have some home run potential in them tonight too. So yeah, to target some Tiger hitters, not the worst idea either. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat before we get to best bets. Mark A, Dram Yankee, Grant Clarkson, Joey Moses, Timmy Tushu, Andrew G, Richard S, Thomas Maggio, Grant Clarkson, GNL photo, Justin McKelvey. Yeah, you and I both singing the blues last night. It was a tough night for Justin too, as was for me. It happens, man. Just got to roll with the punches and move on. That's all we can do. Robert Carlson, good stuff. Appreciate everyone here joining us for this edition of the show. Craig Carlberg earlier on was in the chat. J Stone 9, Art, like I said, everyone. Mike Doyle, good stuff. Goryan Ninkovsky, Gerald Jones, Daniel Abunon, GNL Photo, and like I said, great show of support as always from everyone here. Martez Denny as well. Thanks to everyone for joining us here for this edition. College football tomorrow. MLB is a very light slate for the evening tomorrow. So it'll be a college football hitting the books tomorrow. And we're talking Big 12. You're not going to want to miss this one because this conference is wide open. And there's a lot of teams that are going to be competitive in the Big 12 this season. So Big 12 football previewed tomorrow. And then we're back on Friday. No show Thursday. And then we're back on Friday with an MLB edition of the show. And make sure if you didn't check them out already, you do so at some point soon. Our Big 10 and our SEC college football hitting the books.
And ACC.
Done those already. And ACC. Yeah, exactly. We've done all 3 of those already. So make sure you check all those out. And then we'll do Big 12 tomorrow. And then next Wednesday, we will do the Group of 5 college football preview show. The Group of 5 conferences all in one show next week. So get ready for that. No doubt. All right. Time to wrap it up. Best bets for this Tuesday. C-Mac, what do you like for best bet?
Touchdown. I think our guy Nick went Randy Arozarena in the chat for my dude, Denny there. I already gave it out. Tigers. Team total over 2.5. I got even money. Team total first 5. Let's go. Tigers. Get it.
I'm going to fade a pitcher that's what did I mention that he's given up? It's terrible. Terrible numbers. And I'm stunned they picked him up. I'm equally stunned he's starting already for them. But I have no problem going against our man Fetty LeGrand, Eric Fetty of the Atlanta Braves. I'm going to take Kansas City.
Fetty what?
Yeah. Kansas City minus 125 for my best bet here for this Tuesday card. I think they get the job done. I think they're favored for a reason. I think Eric Fetty's been, let's be honest, the last month, he is one of the worst 5 pitchers in baseball, Eric Fetty. That is how bad things have been for him. And now here he is with the Atlanta Braves. So, like I said, Kansas City minus 125, home favorites, best bet for me for this Tuesday. And like I said, hopefully a bounce back Tuesday in store. Shout out to the chat. We appreciate you guys joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. Again, we've got Big 12 college football preview coming your way tomorrow.
Check that out. And how many late baseball games? We'll just touch on if we have a best bet.
Yeah, we'll throw out a couple bets we like. There's like 4 or 5
games. Yes, 4 or 5 games tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. I just put that out there if you guys
we'll throw out a couple that we like at the end of the show.
Yeah.
No doubt. Okay. Sounds good. All right, let's have a night. Let's hopefully have a better one for yours truly, at least. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you tomorrow on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for the college football Hitting the Book Show Big 12 preview tomorrow, Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.